have the absolute pleasure this morning of talking to director Pat McGee about his documentary, The Deported. Everybody say hello, and Pat, say hello to everybody.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Appreciate the time.
Hey, absolutely not a problem. If you could do us a humongous favor and kind of tell everybody what The Deported is about, because I think it's really important.
Absolutely. Deported is a documentary film that goes inside and takes us through what I characterize as a broken immigration system. Over the course of a year, we followed 4 families facing deportation in some capacity, in some element. We were in Texas, California, Detroit, and Connecticut. And each one of these families that had lived here for years, not 1, 2, 15 to 20 years, were facing deportation. And what we found out is, it's just a system that needs to be fixed.
I think that you're absolutely right in that it is broken. And coming from a family, my father's from a country that was previously referred to as a shithole country. And having to see these families go through this, I could not imagine the absolute horror of having to deal with this. How did you feel having these families go through such a difficult time? How did you feel being an observer of that?
Well, first I'd like to say I'm sorry that you ever characterized as being from a shithole country, because that's not the way we operate as true Americans in our country. But as a filmmaker, I really want to capture people's stories, and I just want to again thank all those families that trusted myself and our team to tell their stories. It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. We were in Connecticut, and the family out there, they have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. The gentleman's been here for 17 years, and they're deporting. They're deporting. The father. They're ripping apart this family. This family that this guy works hard. He pays his taxes. He's a soccer coach. His family's being ripped apart and he's being deported to Guatemala. I don't know what we gain as a country, deporting some of these people. I can tell you, it's really difficult to sit there and watch this go on, because you want to help, you want to do something, you want to do anything, and really, the only thing I can do as a filmmaker and a storyteller is lend my skills to kind of capture the raw essence of what they're going through and be able to share that with other people, and hopefully that sends a message.
I think that the unfiltered nature of what you've put together really does hammer home that point, and I think that you're right. There's nothing to be gained by taking these people and removing them from our society, one which for so long has been reliant on those seeking the American dream and seeking a betterment of oneself. And I think that's another point that your movie tries to make, and I think it does it very well. And I want to commend you for the absolute positivity and spirit of what you put together. So thank you for that, especially as a man of Latin descent as well.
Well, I appreciate that, and I can say, we had this the story that we were following of this young lady, Roxana. She's in Texas. She was brought here when she was 2 years old. She was 2 years of age. She was brought here, and she was part of DACA, and then she fell out of DACA. She didn't have money to renew her DACA application. While she was not, she hadn't renewed her DACA application, she'd been busted for possession of marijuana. Yes, she broke the law, but it made her ineligible to, receive DACA again. She was detained, and now she's in the system to be deported. This is her country. She's been here since. She's more American than. She's an American. She's been here her whole life, and now she's facing a situation that if she's deported, she's going to go there and not have the skills, the community, the wherewithal to survive. And in a lot of situations, a woman like that is pushed into sex trafficking and in other illicit things. And so, my heart goes out to her.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I think people don't understand is a woman like that who has been in this country for this long, when if especially like with my family, if you don't have the Spanish speakers around you, you just forget how to speak Spanish. And if you get deported to this country, which is no longer hers, that she doesn't know as her country, and she gets put into this middle of this and knowing a language that she may or may not understand, it makes it even more difficult. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, William. I mean, you bring up a great point. And, she's proud of her heritage, but at the end of the day, she really is American. And if she goes there and is deported, she's set up in a situation where it's dangerous for her. And I don't understand what we gain as a country to deport her. There's just nothing.
That's exactly correct. And I think I'll give you a personal story from me. Like me, when I was growing up here, I was born here. I was lucky enough to be born here. My father got here in 1979. And when I was younger growing up, I didn't learn Spanish till I was about 13. So there was a period in my life where I couldn't even communicate with half of my family. I couldn't imagine being 16, 17, 18 years old, only knowing this language for about 5 years and being expected to go into this extremely dangerous country that my father's from and being sent back there. So thank you for making something like this. And what I really want to do now is I want to focus on you as a filmmaker. And can you tell the audience a little bit about what inspires you to make films and tell stories?
Well, thanks for that question. I'd just like to say, I'm surrounded by really talented filmmakers, and when my name's on there, it's really a collection of really amazing people. With the Deported, we had this gentleman T. Gordon Stanley, who's an executive producer on the project, and Scott and Paul of Green Couch and Critical Content. All these people with the Deported all have a likeness. In terms of their sensibilities of telling important stories. And, on this specific project, they came to me and said, would you be interested in being part of this? And I was just honored. Because I really, as, personally as a filmmaker, I want to tell stories that are important. I want to tell stories that really are worth my time, your time, that can make an impact. And the biggest thing I can really say is that, I really want to capture people doing their thing. It's not about me. It's not about my team. It's about really trying to give people sort of a platform, give them a voice, because a lot of people that we follow and we document in the projects that we're trying to do don't have that opportunity to speak out. And, there's so many good documentary filmmakers out there that are doing great work. And, I get excited when I go to these film festivals and I sit down and I watch a doc short that's 2 minutes, 5 minutes long. There's just so much talent out there, and there's people telling great stories. We just did a film prior to this called American Relapse, which is about the heroin epidemic. Currently right now I'm doing something on I don't know if I can talk about it, but just another important story. But it's if you're going to invest your time and energy when you do one of these films, you're married to it. I mean, it's not, hey, we're going to shoot this for 6 weeks, 10 months, edit for 20 weeks, and be done. No, that's it's going to go on, and you better be passionate about it. You're not doing it for the money.
That's true. That's true.
What I'm saying? So, try to do good stuff.
I think you absolutely nailed that one on the head. You're not doing it for the money. Documentaries are not, they're not raking in billions of dollars. But I think that documentaries, especially in 2019, tell a more human story. And what I like about your other films, I haven't seen them yet, but I did read up on them, is, and in all three of these stories, you're telling American stories. Does that make sense?
Sure.
You're telling the story of people in America who are dealing with something that is prevalent in our nation and that kind of gets swept under the rug. So thank you for that sort of perspective.
Thanks, William. I appreciate it. The best thing that we can have is a conversation, have a dialogue. If we as a country and a community can sit and kind of speak openly without fear and speak with our, people on the other side, people that are indifferent, people that may not care. But once you put a face to a story, it changes everything. One of the things that I really try to push for and my team pushes for is let's not get crazy bogged down in stats and figures. Those are important, yes. But at the end of the day, it's what resonates most with me, and I think with the people that watch, films like this that can make a difference, is that it's about the emotional toil. It's about their journey, about putting a face on the story. If you can do that, you'll have a connection, and that's what I think people want, man. They want to be connected, and it doesn't matter how you reach them, whether it's through music, film, sports, any of those things. We can find a common ground and a connection. That's important.
I completely agree. Can you discuss with us a little bit how you got distribution through YouTube?
Well, yeah, this is for this specific project, like I mentioned, I was approached by Critical Content and Jenny Daly and Paul and Scott of Green Couch and T. Gordon Stanley. And so that group of people, those production companies, had sold worked with, I believe it was Critical Content. They all pitched this to YouTube, and YouTube went in and said, you know what, this is a great project. We want to be behind this. And so it basically, YouTube was on board from the beginning. Once we did a little presentation for them, and they've been great partners and great support. I couldn't believe because, a lot of times I'm doing independent stuff. The trailer's been up for 10 days, and the trailer has 30 million views. I can't believe it. Honestly, it's that's powerful. I mean, I never thought I'd get something out to 30 million people. So
it's going to get more It's going to get more because we always package our reviews and interviews with the trailer. So you're going to get even more views once our interview and review goes up. So,
well, I appreciate that because I'm still the first day I had $100,000, and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I can't believe people are watching this. And you know what? There's you read the comments. There's 15,000 comments, and there's you can see the frustration, the hate. I don't know what it is, but it has people talking. And every time someone watches that, every time someone sees those faces with those kids, and they know that they're people that are families just like yours, just like mine, just like anyone we know, the more they see that, the more it'll sink in that, you know what? Let's just take a beat, man. Let's just take a pause and let's think about what specifically the law is, because it's convoluted. Sometimes it's discretionary. Other times it's black and white. But let's just take a second. Let's take a beat and think, what is good for our country? What kind of country do we want to be? And that's what I think we really need to figure out. As a country, what do we represent? Who do we want to be? And figure out policy that reflects that instead of it being so black and white. Because you know what? We operate not in a black and white society, man. It's great.
It absolutely is great. And there's a little bit of brown in there, too, especially
right?
The story being told here.
Amen.
That's the way I put it to people. I'm like, you know what? Us brown folks are in here, too, man.
Right?
We're still kicking, and there's really nothing y'all can do about it.
Exactly. And you know what? Again, man, these people are being targeted for deportation. They have a target on their back. And the families that agreed to appear on this, I mean, what role models? How brave are they? And anytime I get a chance to kind of give a give a shout out to them. It's due, and it's important because, you know, Samantha out in Connecticut, the family in Detroit, they're locked up in a church. They want to deport they want to deport Dead, who's in sanctuary, who's the main caretaker for his wife, who's wheelchair bound, can't survive on her own. And if they deport him, you know, basically the youngest kid is going to be awarded to the state. His wife is going to be awarded to the state, and the other son is going to be deported. And it's absolutely crazy. And I'm like, they want to spend that sort of money and rip apart a family?
Yeah, I just don't understand the mindset there. I'm just going to leave you with two more things, and then I'm going to let you wrap this up for us, okay?
Thanks.
So there's a quote on the Statue of Liberty that I think sums up how we need to be treating people in this country. And it simply states, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed to me, and lift my lamp beside the golden door." To me, that speaks of what it is to be an American. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, it's about humanity. It's about the common man living, working, you know, with their families and dreaming of, you know, having a complete life. And just think, man, it's humanity. And so I think your sentiment is dead on.
Now, if people want to watch this, why should they watch it, and how would they watch it?
I think people should take a look at Deported because it's an important film. It speaks about what we're facing as a country right now, and what it really says is, look, we can either work together or work against each other. We're always better when we work together. If you want to watch, which go to YouTube.com. There's YouTube Originals, and they'll give you a month free, and you can sign up, and it's free on there.
Awesome. Guys, it's more than just Cobra Kai on YouTube Originals. Check that out, but also check out The Deported since you got a whole month to watch it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for.
Hey, thank you. Is there any place that we can reach out to you on social media if we wanted to further that discussion about what it really means to be an American?
I'm trying to think of. I have to look at. I'm always available at patmcgeepictures.com. Trying to think if we have a website for. I don't know offhand.
Nice.
But thank you so much.
Absolutely. Pat, thank you so much for spending time with us, man, and have a great flight and enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.